Okay, I'm doing a after the fact, after the repair video on how to fix the Breville toaster oven. It's a BOV900, which is one of their biggest and best units. It does air frying. It can fit a pretty large amount of things inside it. It's a very good unit. I like it. I have one. I repaired a friend of mine's. His problem was this select knob. When you turn it, you should change what you're selecting. There's an encoder that detects direction. It goes around and around as many times as you want it to go around and around. I made it. If you push it in, it does a push button. Also, in certain modes, it does like roasting. It tells it to let you know to turn it around halfway or something. It now works, but it wasn't working before. So we're going to go through what I did to fix it. Strangely enough, supposedly, people tell me with Breville you can get parts. And there's a rumor around that the entire circuit board, that has all the switches and everything in it. There's a separate circuit board for the display. The circuit board at the bottom here is just the buttons and the dials. That is available for supposedly $65, but you need to know the secret Breville part number. The part number that's on the circuit board is not the part number. So when I called them, they say, no, you need the part number, and they don't have an exploded view. There's no way to find out a part number. No way to find out. You just don't know. So I'll go through that problem. There's another problem I'll mention while I've got the cover off on this unit that a lot of people complain about on this unit, and that is the lever that operates on the door. When you move the door, this big bar moves up and down strangely, and it kind of stomps on the switch to let you know that the door is closed. So this switch here is an end switch, or just a switch to let you know it's closed. And it's a strange path the thing takes. It heads right toward it, it goes over it, then it jumps again because of the way it's riding in this track over here. But what does happen with these units I've seen, not on this one, is the area over here gets worn. So this bar is just lower in general. So when it comes right to this point here, instead of being over the switch, it smashes right up against on the switch. So people end up not being able to close their door. And if they force it, sometimes the lever actually lifts the switch up and goes under the switch. And then you got problems because it doesn't think the door is closed and won't let you do anything. Simple solution to this that most people talk about is bending this down. To bend it down properly though, because you don't really this could just be cut. If this were, I don't know, a few millimeters shorter, it would be fine. As long as it doesn't hit at this point here, even if it's low. But most people do is bend it down. So you just grab the end of it and you twist it a little bit with along those pliers. That way, if this is worn and is low, then it jumps past that point and stomps down on it, and it works. Another thing to know about when you open this particular model, they're all different, but the 900 has 2 screws on the side, which I have removed, which are Torx screws. That has to be removed to take the unit off. There are 3 screws on the bottom facing up. Those are machine screws going into the cover panel. And then there are a whole bunch of screws along the back, but they're only along the perimeter, not this screw does not have to come out. Only the screws along the perimeter come out. Not along the bottom, only the side and the top and the other side. And those are the only screws you have to take out to take the cover off. The cover is a little quirky because it does get stuck because it's slid in this front piece here. So you have to loosen all the screws and just kind of jiggle and wiggle it until it pulls backward away from the unit. Once the cover's off, you have access to everything you need. Taking this whole mechanism out is fairly easy. This whole structure here is one piece. It's held in with 2 screws on the top and 2 screws from the bottom, which I'm not going to show because it's a pain, but those are tricky also because there's a foot. You have to remove the foot, which is obvious how to remove it, and under the foot are 2 more screws going up into this unit. This whole unit is held in with 4 screws, 2 from the top, 2 from the bottom. But before you take it out, you remove this ribbon cable here, remove these 4 screws that hold the fan in, and move the fan off to the side. And then this whole thing comes out. Wish I could show the whole thing, how to disassemble this. There are a bunch of screws in this black plastic cover going into this, sandwiching the circuit boards inside the front panel of this. When you take the cover off this, you'll see the individual circuit boards. There'll be another ribbon cable connecting to the display board to this board. and you can take this board out, but when you do, be careful because these knobs are just sitting in there. They'll just fall. So do it flat down and lift it straight up. And I sprayed contact cleaner. I use the WD-40 contact cleaner in and around all the switch, through the shaft into it, from the back as best I could, and that seems to have fixed the problem. This was not working before, and now it's working quite well. And I just put it all back together, and it's doing its job, and everything's working smoothly. And that's it. I'm going to now try to put the cover back on it. Oh, another silly thing, it's unimportant, but this unit was used, so it's a little bit dirty. And I discovered something I didn't realize, which is kind of cool. I now realize that contact cleaner does a great job of cleaning grease off. There's grease all over this thing, and I sprayed it. I know I can't hurt the circuit board with it, and it cleaned off all the grease, which is kind of cool. I didn't do it over here yet. That also might be discoloration. I also wonder if that's what they did. Maybe they burned something in the unit, and the smoke got into this switch and killed it. But right now, it appears to be working just fine. And I'll put the cover back on and hope for the best. That's how to repair the two most common problems of a BOV900.